Hello everyone and welcome to the map Golden Aura. Joining me here, the upper left corner, the blue Terran Command Center for today's highlight professional match of StarCraft 2. It is Ryung and their opponent, the red hatchery, the red Zerg drones here. The bottom right belongs to Rogue. TVZ, Rogue TVZ, I should say. The last couple of matches I've casted with Rogue have been wild, I think is a good way for me to put it. Very strange things, mass overseers, changelings running around like they own the entire map. I don't know. Back in my day, okay, we're having the Wings of Liberty moment. You made Zerglings, you made Banelings, you made MUTAs, and if the game went very long or you were fighting Protoss, I would wager, if I remember right, it went Broodlord and Fester, and that was it. There's no creativity, no deviation, and now we got the Overseer creep carpet all over the god. Showing my age. Alright, fine. Recenter ourselves back here to meditation mode. Alright. Things are looking, I will say, dreadfully normal so far. Talk about the game, Indigos. I know. I'm getting there. Things are looking fine so far. Nothing too crazy out of whack here. The SCV certainly overstaying its welcome at this point, though. Like, there's a hatchery. There's creep. It's practically touching your SCV shoes. The Reaper will get here just in time to basically switch off the third shift there. Reaper, welcome to the party. The dance we all know and love now is follow the Reaper. Yes. Terran versus Zerg. Why would I cast this part? We all know this. We all love it, too. Like, it so doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter. We don't want to tell them that, though. Third hatch still not on the way for Rogue. Nope, he's going for it. He'll get it. Very nice. Alright. Third hatch will be slapped down, will be placed successfully. Queen doesn't even have to go defend there. Ryung is not really pushing his luck with any of this. Not going for 3 to 4 Reapers to try to pressure it. Switching the buildings around. Things are looking pretty textbook, I would say. So far, it's not a terrible match if you're looking to maybe check out a build to practice some of your moves here. We've got relatively normal builds so far. I'd say give it time, though. I definitely have. I'm going into this with an expectation of madness, chaos, even. We'll see how things go. Third CC just about completed. Very typical, nice 3cc opener for the Terran. Going for Banshee behind this. Okay, it's a choice. From here, we'll start to see choices, feelings, deviations. A Roach Warren, slightly early, but that's just Rogue's choice. He's just going for roaches, at least for the mid-game. No lair in sight, which is why I call it early. Usually you line them up together, but Rogue's not going for it yet. Hitting that comfy 2-base drone count. The third hatch will be completed, of course. Queen's now going to have to juggle around. Just deflect the couple of Hellions. Ryung does not want to commit too heavily to an attack. He's setting things up. You can see he's kind of getting everything all together here. The Hellions in place. They're going to help out the Reaper. The Banshee, not what I was expecting it to be used for, just high ground vision, but it does work. The Banshees, they're going to get cloak too, so definitely going to want to do a bit of damage with them. Rogue's going to see it though. Like, there's no way Rogue hasn't seen this, right? I would hope not. I would sincerely hope not. So Spores, I think, should be on the menu. At the very least, get that lair done and make an Overseer right away, because you don't want to mess around with Banshee Cloak. If you are unprepared, devastating. There you go. Spores on the way. Hellions moving in. Rogue, though, with a little bit of counter damage. A strike, a sneaky shenanigan. Roaches scuttled their way across to the other side, forcing evacuation of that third CC. The depot goes down right away. We'll close the wall, but for how long? 0 seconds. Ryung says, open the wall, let them in. They go for the SCV that they started that fight with, and we'll call it good. Take the win, I suppose. Ryung perhaps wasn't quite sure how much Rogue was committing to that. He pulled all of the Hellions back. He's got 10 Hellions. By the way, he's got double armory. He's got triple factory. We've got a mech game on our hands, everyone. The Hellions test that front door. No surprise. Roaches and Queens will keep them at bay. Fend them off here. Overseer, the first of many, I hope, enters the main base. Perhaps a changeling was spawned. Nothing too major, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Batman. I think they have a NYDUS network. A NYDUS network, you say? Yes. Alright. Rogue? Like, what's the goal here? Is it the queens? He's only got 7 queens. I wouldn't think it'd be for the queens. I'm not too sure. I mean, roaches, why not? Just stuff them through a NYDUS and put them somewhere they don't belong. Cause a roach-shaped fire for the Terran to have to put out. But he could also just be kind of planning for later stages of the game at this point. I think he knows that Ryung is going for mech. He's seen multiple factories, and there's more on the way. The composition alone, I mean, you've been fighting battle mech the whole game. Oh my gosh, it's for Swarm Host. 6 at once. I doubt that's an accident. I don't think we can call it an act. 9? It's a lot of accidents. Okay. Like, at this point, we're gonna need to, I don't know, figure something out. Get a hobby. That's a lot of accidental Swarm Hosts, Rogue. The Banshee, one of them will be lost. I heard it. So the goal here, I think I see Rogue's building up. He's gonna try to get an anti-mech style together. He's going to start with the NYDUS worms. Swarm Host, Locust can start to do a bit of harassment. The roaches are just going to try to keep the battle mech at bay long enough, I think, for Rogue to get to that comfy drone level. You know, call it 80 plus drones. 5th and 6th base. Uh-oh, the Swarm Host immediately found out. The Locust, they'll get a couple of units. The Split, oh my gosh, splitting the Locust to deal with the Widowmine shots, not too shabby. Siege tank friendly fire coming in handy. The best thing to beat Terran mech is Terran mech, as we all know and love. Whether you choose to do siege tank friendly fire or neural parasite is up to you. I think this NYDUS worm was a little quick, Rogue. These Swarm Hosts are not even ready. Gonna go for the worm. What do? The queens come out. Transfuse. We'll save that worm. Widowmine will be destroyed. Roaches on the left side looks like they were deflected, not wanting to walk up the ramp into siege tanks. Write it down, Zerg players. Sending the Locust this way. Interesting. Not going into the main base. Production at all. Okay. Well, the command center is just going to be immediately lifted, which is going to save itself. Not a whole lot else. Yes, CVs were safe. It's... Get out of here. I'm not making any biological units. I suppose that is one benefit going mech. You see any Marines, you're like, that ain't mine. I make Hellions, I make Cyclones, I make siege tanks. And I make war. That's about it. Roach Ravager moving into the base and moving out of the base just as quickly. Like, are we waiting for the Swarm Hosts? Oh god, there's more. 16 Swarm Hosts. That's getting to be a little excessive, Rogue. Swarm Hosts. It's not that they're a bad, you know, supply investment of things. Are looking pretty good actually for this engagement. They're going to split around, get on top of the siege tanks. Even the Roach Ravager splitting quite heavily. Now the left side's going to be deflected first. Right side still pretty strong in control, but I'm not sure how much he wants to really push that one siege tank is very injured. And we'll get it. Changelings. He's trying. Couple cyclones on the other side of the map will start to destroy that hatchery. I think I want to keep an eye on that. Oh, never mind. He gives up. He walks away. The pigmentation, the paint on that hatchery has been scarred, bruised, traumatized. The poor drone in there that's trying to make the hatchery, he's just having a terrible day. Second wave of the Locust gonna hit the mech units. The siege tanks, Hellbat's helping out pretty helpfully though. Roach and Ravager definitely gonna have a struggle with dealing with that many siege tanks. It's gonna take more than one wave, I think. Reinforcements are on the way for Rogue, who doesn't even have 2-2 and is pushing this heavily. The freaking mech has an upgrade advantage at 2-1 right now. Will be evened up, of course. Rogue's +2 attack's gonna complete, but the damage is being done here. Ryung is losing the third base position. Ravagers can pressure the hatchery. Okay, Ravagers. They can pressure the command center. The hatchery's already being pressured extensively. This poor drone having a terrible day. Another wave of Locusts. I love the positioning. Rogue is not just leaving them on the attack move. He's actually telling them to dive into the middle of the mech army, just to cause maximum chaos, I assume. The investment of the Swarm Hosts, I wasn't too sure. My issue is how much supply Swarm Hosts cost. That's really my big issue with Swarm Hosts. I quite like where they're at right now as far as functionality. It's certainly better than the Heart of the Swarm days, but my issue with them tends to be their supply cost. They're like, what, 4 supply each, I think? It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. When you compare it to other 4 supply units like Disruptors or Immortals, ugh, good gosh. Hellbat should finally deal with this hatchery as it deserves, right, Terran players? Hellions make their way over to the other base. 13 drones in total have fallen. Rogue taking quite a hit as far as the economy is concerned. Another wave of Locusts. Do they go for the planetary? They're going to try. It's not going to be successful, though. Ryung's been shifting, it looks like, back into the battle mech a bit. Cyclone count, I swear, the cyclone count has risen pretty high here. Take a drink, guys. Hydration alert. Stay hydrated. Well, Ryung moves down the ramp. Rogue's gonna move into his own biles. Why not? Where's the fun in avoiding your own corrosive biles? Are you kidding? Locust once again moving out here. He's still going for the planetary. I don't know how I feel about it. Well, bringing the army up as well is going to help. Well, there's already I love that there's already a command center here. It's like if the planetary goes down, great. Just sit that other one down. Same spot. We will have no downtime in resource acquisition today. Things aren't going too bad. I'm loving the counter harass from Ryung. He's getting damage done. Rogue's down to 51 drones. Rogue does have a bank though, and that is one helpful thing for the Swarm Hosts, I suppose. When you've got this many accidental boys here, set them up. Their supply you don't have to keep constantly replacing unless you mess up, essentially. Oh no, we've been found. Locusts have to be popped defensively. That's a lot of Ravagers, Batman. Okay. Well, they're luckily not in a ravaging mood, it feels. The Hellions, he's still getting a bit of work done. I can't lose any drones if I don't have them. Indigos, yes, I know. If I never fill my mineral line, I can't lose my mineral line, right? What are these, spines? I agree with the choice. Oh, sorry, we have a spire. But it's not a greater spire. Important to note. No real investment. There's not really any room for air units, but Rogue's definitely thinking about it, because he's getting +2 attack for the air units. Almost done. It's So he's been investing in this for a few minutes. I just wonder what the choice is. I doubt it's going to be Corruptors for Corruptors' sake. I mean, Broodlords are on the table, I feel. I think that might actually be a pretty good option. Look how heavy into siege tanks that Ryung has gone. I mean, there's hardly any anti-air. There's 7 Cyclones. The anti-air is freaking 15 Cyclones? Come on. That's like barely a paperweight thrown up at the Broodlord. What, are you going to let them get underneath the Broodlord? It's MUTAs? What? Why? Why is it MUTAs? I don't know. Okay. I mean, they're not terrible. Just, I don't know. They take a lot of work. Good grief. Quit sending the Ravagers into the tank line. This is a lot of siege tanks. He's got 17 siege tanks. Look at that. I gotta zoom out for a mech army. Alright. They're getting closer, encroaching on the base. The Ravagers make the mistake of walking anywhere near the Terran side of the map. Pile of sass, I love it. It gets the siege tank. Speaking of siege tanks, more and more are setting up. This hatchery, I think, is toasted, roasted, cooked, and baked at this point. 19 MUTAs on the way. There's quite a few on the map already, though. How are they doing? Looks like they will be successful. Of course, Cyclone's not the epic anti-air I think we all kind of wish they were. MUTAs will be able to keep up with them. Stay on top, magic box a little bit. Well, Cyclones, they're both taking pretty decent chunks out of each other. How are the upgrades? It's 2-0 for the MUTAs and 3-2 for the Cyclones. Behind this, Ryung is making Thors, getting the right decision. More Cyclones, more Thors. Happy Thors Day. It's probably not Thors Day, though. I don't usually release my pro games on Thors Day, so I guess have a good Thors Day in a few days. MUTAs, once again, moving in. The choice, like, I still don't know how I feel about it. It's certainly working, though. Rogue is definitely getting a bit of work done. A little bit of damage there. Locust on the other side. Move into the base here. The MUTAs. Oh, the presence of the Thors, I think, should shut this down. Get rid of these paltry shenanigans. Locusts. Still. Wow. It's catch up. Avert your eyes. That was a lot all at once. This command center being an orbital was such a good choice. Such a good investment for the Terran because they keep having to lift it. The SCV's relatively unscathed at this location. Ryung is ahead on the workers killed. He's ahead on the workers active, but albeit barely. MUTAs now able to do what MUTAs do best. That is havoc. That is chaos. Move into the main base. Move out when they see any amount of Terran resistance. Okay. Over on the other side, looks like Locusts were successful over here. They actually did get that. That must have been a planetary. Oh, what'd I do? I don't know. Structures. Oh, I know what I was trying to do. Yeah, he lost a planetary. That was the first, actually? Really? That's not too shabby. I'm kind of impressed at that, actually, that this was the first base that Ryung has lost. Have they all been orbitals so far? They haven't all been orbitals. This is a planetary over here. Refusing to repair it, too. 34 kills on that planetary. Good grief. Alright. The MUTAs being annoying, going through the main base, picking off add-ons, it seems more than anything else. Ravagers will force this base to lift, which will only deter, I mean, the roaches, really. The Ravagers could still hit it. Locusts helping to deal with the Cyclone army. Thors nowhere in sight, so the MUTAs will reign supreme in the main base. They're going to get the add-ons, which is very annoying. Very frustrating having to rebuild all of these add-ons. Ryung actually isn't really even going about it. He's just cranking out naked Cyclones. Well, not necessarily naked Cyclones. The Cyclones from the naked factory. You know what I mean. Where are the Thors? The Thors are here. Okay. He's building up the Thor count, too. He's got 5 Cyclones holding the main base defense. 19 SCVs have fallen, and these bases are starting to mine out. The anti-MUTA mode. MUTAs versus mech, huh? I mean, it does work. Just, it's a lot of work. I don't recommend it for probably most of the people watching. Ooh, solid biles hitting both the Terran and the Zerg. Mech Force will deflect the Roach Ravager once again. Brown, are you actually pushing this? You haven't even remade your add-ons. Set up your production. He's getting low on money, too. I think Ryung is starting to feel it, feeling the pressure. The SCV losses, the base denial over time. I see this orbital lifted, burning even. Now we got to keep an eye on this. NYDUS Horn, the MUTA count has dwindled to 8. MUTAs have been sacking themselves for quite a few minutes, it would seem. Locust over here, immediate lift. Okay, Ryung still got his finger on that key. That's good. Keep the command centers alive. MUTAs, they're going for the burning building. They will get it. Command center will burn. Which is another base loss, which is at this point devastating for the Terran. It's far too late in the game. Ryung was never able to set up that Iron Bank. He's only got 4 orbitals. 4 orbitals. 1 planetary. I mean, these orbitals, they're just kind of sitting here too. Not really even doing anything. I think he's focusing a bit too much, possibly on the attack. At this point, it's kind of a too little, too late thing. Every hit here that Rogue gets feels like it's permanent damage on these units. The lack of repairs, the lack of income. At this point, it's going to be a lack of replacements. Forces on the right, Biles being highly successful still. Even, where are the swarm hosts? That's what I want to know. Oh, they're here. This is a good move. This is a good move. Try to whittle down the army. Locust can hold the left side. The right side is struggling with the lack of reinforcements, though. Ryung's going to move in a little bit. What's the tank count at? 4. Certainly not ideal, I think. The unfortunate thing here, Ryung is not making a whole lot of progress, and he's checking around for bases. I think getting a gauge, getting an idea, scanning around saying, what kind of position am I in? I'm feeling pretty far behind, and I'm inclined to agree. 32 workers with effectively only 1/2 of a mining base. And what else have we got here? We've got barely some minerals there. We abandoned these. We're just abandoning these bases. Okay. The production, nowhere to be found. It's going to come down simply to the battle. The army is all that matters now. And Ryung is not making enough progress, not making enough headway. Every wave of Locusts deals more and more damage. Siege tanks are destroyed. Cyclones are injured. The Thors, I mean, they're here more for bulk than anything else at this point. The MUTAs are gone. Rogues replacing with Zerglings. Well, at least he's got 2/2, I suppose. No Adrenal, though. Rogue got +3 attack. Wow. Oh, maybe the Lings are for backstabs here. Denying the only mining position. That's it. Rogue is gonna take it. A test of tenacity, a trial. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.